Hello everybody and welcome. It's the day of the lunar eclipse and I was awake. I don't know about you, but I'm very sensitive to the moon and the phases of the moon, and I was awake at 5 o'clock, which from where I am, that was exactly when the eclipse was happening and peaking at 6:15. So how have you found the last couple of days? I have found it incredibly emotional, and I noticed that Mystic Mama on Instagram and on her website, she named it perfectly, exactly what I was feeling, which was this deep grief feeling alongside deep love, huge love and gratitude and appreciation. So those two very strong emotions coming up this last couple of days, and very much mixed, but just creating this wave of emotion. So if you've been feeling that this last couple of days as well, leading up to the eclipse, that could be why. So the key is here to just allow what's coming up, let it come through you. Try not to overanalyze and do something very grounding. So I went out walking in nature as much as possible, and barefoot, feet on the grass, feet on the ground. And it really did help. And also being very kind to myself and giving myself space. So try and do the same for yourself if you're still feeling the effects of that eclipse. So let's get into what I channeled a couple of days ago. I found this very interesting. It was really special, particularly because after I channeled, I then wanted to research, to clarify, to confirm perhaps some of the information that was coming through. And sometimes we don't need to confirm that. You just have to, there's a very much a trusting process that has to happen. But on this occasion, sometimes when I'm channeling, I'm being shown and having things or experiencing things that I can't always put into words because I don't have the language. And I think this is very common for channelers because most of us aren't quantum physicists, and we're dealing with a lot of multi-dimensional, otherworldly new information. So you can get the feeling, you can see it, you can hear it, but you are limited somewhat, or shaped. What you can channel is shaped a little bit by your own language. And this varies depending on the channeler. So let's get into what I was channeling about our evolution process, the ascension process, as some people are calling it. And I wanted a bit more detail about what's happening to us on a bodily level, on a cellular level. This is what I was told. So to update your current systems and welcome the next evolutionary part in the process, there are choices to be made. And a little side here, choice comes through as a very key word. And choice is not just like, oh, I choose this or I choose that, and that's all it is. It's a mental decision. It encompasses and creates a field of its own. It initiates you or brings you into a field along with your whole being, your cells, your energy, everything. So this is why the word choice, choose, is so key that I understand and perceive in the channeling. Okay, I'll continue. To welcome in more multidimensional light patterns, you need to tune into them. It's a vibrational enhancement that brings you into higher dimensional states of being. You call this accessing light codes. Refining and coming into coherence with light, with higher vibrational fields. Your bodies can also be helpful in accessing these. It is a whole being light state. So your physical body, although not as important as your consciousness coherence, is still helpful for you. Help your cells be able to access the universal light. Eat, aligning with nature, means your body is also able to resonate closer to aliveness in responsivity with natural cycles of Earth and the cosmos. You need to raise your vibration into light resonance. You can't flow and respond and activate at your highest vibration if you are aligning with lower vibrations, whether that is synthetic chemicals that we consume, etc., or self-oriented thoughts and actions. So this aligns with something I was taught a very long time ago from an incredible mentor and teacher of mine over 25 years ago, called Barbara Wren. She used to run the College of Natural Nutrition, and she was still a highly tuned in being, who understood that everything, even all that time ago, that everything is in cycles. If we want to become more aligned with who we really are, what we do is we free up our bodies, make them as fluid, as responsive as possible, so that we can respond to nature's cycles and the cycles of the cosmos. So, for example, when we talk about the moon, she is very much creating push and pull with her cycles. So the fluids on the planet, and I believe that to be the fluids also in our bodies and in our cells, are being pushed and pulled. And how can we put our body in a place where it can respond to that? And this coincides with the other cycles of the other planets, plus the seasonal cycles. Everything has a cycle in nature. So it made me just click into that knowledge that I was given, that I received all those years ago. They also said, you must activate your heart center. This is an important piece of the process. By activating your heart, you can easily access these higher resonances of being. Your heart center has the natural ability to, and you access the caring love field of consciousness, which results in entering a field where you feel love for yourself, Earth and nature, animals and other humans. This love field of consciousness is where you begin to create change in yourself and on Earth. When your heart is accessing that field, all your cells come into coherence with that field, almost like they hear and feel it and are naturally drawn to vibrate at that level. That vibration is felt at all levels, from your fluids. Your photon activity, your biophoton activity increases, energy increases. Your whole being comes into coherence and brings you into deeper connection with everything that lives in that resonance or close to it, like nature, animals, and other beings from other cosmic bodies and other spheres of existence. It literally takes you into another realm or dimension of living and experience. You activate new parts of your brain and brain cells. The image I was also getting was this sort of spiral of golden light through the whole of our body, creating more space, and as though the edges of our being were almost soft and dissipating, as though they were merging into something greater, into a bigger field. And the feeling was with that there's an effortlessness to it, a letting go at many levels of existence, thought, trying, pushing, lower motives. Focus on your heart and let it open like a flower into softness, allowing, and gratitude. So we know that the heart has a huge electromagnetic field, so much greater than any other part of our body, including the brain. Now, electromagnetic energy is very closely linked to biophoton energy. Biophoton means just natural light energy. So we all have and create biophotons. Now, what some of this channeling was alluding to or speaking of is that we need and can create more biophotons if the more we align with nature and in our consciousness. And the more biophotons that we can produce, the more energy we produce, the more of a different energy source that we are tapping into. So we're not just relying on the biological mechanism of our mitochondria. The mitochondria are a key part in helping us increase our photon activity. And I came across various research articles, and it spoke of biological systems produce photons, and those photons form a quantum coherent field. Now, this is exactly what came through in the channeling, which is fascinating and so amazing, isn't it, right? And in this one study, they said that field that it creates is consciousness. This channeling very much seems to be, in a loose way, if you come from a scientific perspective, but backed up by many quantum theory studies and research. Our whole system can come into coherence, not just the brain and the heart, as many people speak of, which is wonderful, proven science, but it goes a step further. It's talking about your whole being coming into coherence, and then coming into coherence through the heart to the outer, the macrocosm, and aligning and coming into resonance and coherence with higher states of consciousness, or the love vibration field. So I really reiterate to you that coming into your heart space and sitting with your focus on your heart, and then focusing on something which helps open your heart, something you're grateful for, something that you have great love for. Nature, a loved one, something that somebody did for you that was kind, something that you've seen in social media recently where people showed kindness or giving or support, whatever it might be, that brings you into a state of gratitude and that divine or sacred love, if you like, because it's beyond I'm getting shown over and over again that that state of love is beyond the more selfish, naturally selfish kind of love that we also hold and carry as humans, which is absolutely fine. But if you can tune into that higher sense of love, your whole being comes into resonance with that. So I'm going to see if Spirit is around in this moment and has a message for us. Steady yourselves through all this change and upheaval by looking at the stars and focusing, having that focal point to steady you. Like looking at a point in front of you so that you keep balance. We feel the loss and the chaos that you're experiencing. The natural events that are causing so much disruption and pain and what feels like devastation. And we hold the energy steady for you. Some kind of stability and clarity that you can tune into at this time of difficulty. Just as a mother would with her child who is experiencing big emotions, and yet she stays calm and brings that sense of stability, helping the child ease and soften and be comforted. We do the same. When I say keep your focus, by looking at the stars in amongst all the tumultuous activity that goes on around you, it is a nice metaphor for aligning with what you seek, with your whole being, heart, mind, and body. Keep finding your center that is steady, calm, and deliberate, and tunes into something greater, the greater whole, the bigger picture, as you say. For the natural cycle and steadiness of that is still present. It's just, it doesn't feel that way for you at the moment, in your personal lives and on earth. It is difficult, is it not, to accept that change is the only constant. And that can make you feel disoriented and uncertain. But with a steady center, a focus point, you can allow that uncertainty and that outer movement of change. You can be like the eye of the storm. When you focus too much on the chaos and the change and the uncertainty, it scatters your energy and impedes your coherence. And that coherence, as you call it, is what you need to create steadiness in the field for humanity. and all living things, in fact. There are many ways to find this coherence and that grounding. So find what works for you, but let that center be your focus, your North Star, to bring it back to the star analogy. There is so much love for you. And I radiate that right now. So as you listen and allow openness, you will come into resonance with me. You know how to do this, beloved ones. It's just a case of remembering. And you humans need practice. So practice. Every time you do, you will start to feel your field enhancing, becoming more alive in you, more present. And that sense of inner and outer resonance. You will feel it as tingling, a little buzzing in your cells throughout your being. Warmth. And a feeling as if you were literally glowing, even though you may not see it with your eyes. Yes, this one speaks of choice and choosing. To choose is not just a thought or an action, it's a total alignment. Choose with confidence and with devotion. Align to love. And you will feel yourself expand. What a joy, beloved ones, to experience this just as this one does. What a loving presence and message. The feeling was just so energized, pulsing with love and that alignment and coherence that they were speaking of. That's it for today. If you want more practices and live practices, come over to my Patreon. I do a monthly live stream there where I talk about a theme. We do a guided practice that I have channeled and brought through, either previously or live in the moment. And then there's time for Q&A afterwards. So if you have any questions about your personal ascension or involvement or anything at all, you can ask them there. Comment below and subscribe here. I channel every week, once a week minimum. As long as there is something coming through, I will give that here. Let me know how it is for you. What are you experiencing? Are you having those challenges coming up, like staring you in the face for you to overcome? I know that they're, for me, becoming more and more obvious all the time. Like they come up and I see them, and then my choice is to then act or shift or align or open or whatever it might be. Okay, with so much love as always, have a great day. Take it easy if you're still feeling the lunar eclipse or just this process of change. And I'll see you again next time.